Hey, Chica. Welcome to the Lovelda Show Women of Power podcast, the show where women share their personal power tools, the techniques, strategies, and ways of being which have enabled their business and life success. I'm your host, Lovelda Vincenzi, a female speaker mentor, speaker, and event host on a mission to unleash authentic, powerful female voices onto the world. In today's episode, we'll be uncovering the power tools of Penny Elliott. Yes, this is part 2 of the show. Penny lives and breathes sales, from selling grapes on the side of the road in her family business at age 7, right through to leading teams of 45 reps throughout the UK, culminating in $15 million worth of sales in her 18 years in corporate. Now running her multiple six-figure business, she cuts through the shiny objects to show her clients how to attract leads, build relationships, create buyers, profit, and growth in their businesses. Keeping balance is key in Penny and her clients' lives. She lives and breathes this, having completed 18 Ironmans, including the world champs, and over 40 marathons. She loves to write and has been published in over 30 publications, all while being a wife, crazy Bengal cat lady, and mum. She is on a mission to help get momentum, the woo with the do, the perfect mix of mindset and strategy to have fast success in your business so that you can finally live your best life. Now, this is part 2. If you haven't caught part 1, please jump back and listen to that first, because we will pretty much be jumping right back in and picking up precisely where we left off. Remember, all of the links that we share in this show can be found in the show notes. The only way to ensure that you get your regular fix is to click that subscribe button right now to make sure that you get updates as soon as a new show is added. Well, it's quite enough for me, and I can't wait to get started again, so let's jump right back in. Welcome back to the Lovelda Show Women of Power podcast. The last episode was so jam-packed, we had to split it into 2 episodes, and I am not going to waste a whole bunch of time right now getting you up to speed again. You're going to have to bounce back to the previous episode to find that. So we are back live with Penny Elliott. Let's just get straight into it. So Penny, do you think in the current economic climate, there is still a chance for folk to make money? Because, I mean, we suffered a bit of a battering and we may or may not be coming out of it in the short term. So in these sorts of situations, do you think there's a possibility to still make a buck or two?
Now, I really want to talk about this because this is massive and it's really going to be huge for the rest of 2020, is understanding that the leads that you've got right now, or the people that that are raising their hands to have conversations with you, are going to be, you're going to want to convert every single one of them, right? Because it's, money is shifting. Money hasn't disappeared. I want everyone to hear that. It hasn't disappeared. It's just changing hands, right? It's just moving into different places. Because I tell you what,
hallelujah. Sorry, I just needed to get in there. Amen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like toilet paper companies, they are creaming it right now. There has never ever been in the history of this planet people fighting over loo rolls, right? There has never been punch-ups in the aisles over toilet paper. If you had shares in toilet paper, you would be sitting at home thinking, yeah, this is the money, right? So money's just changing hands. But what I want to really come back to is the fact that it's easy to be emotionless if you've got a calendar booked full of calls. So when you've only got one call, or you've only got one reply to an email, or you've only had one click through, or your sales page has only had, 20 people look at it, all of those people are super, like you want to convert all of them, right, to hit your targets. If you've had like 5,000 people hit your sales page, you're like, okay, well, I can convert, 50 of them. So the way to become emotionless when you have someone book in with you, or click on a link, or reply to an email, or comment on a post, is to see it as someone just raising their hand. Okay? They're just putting their hand up to say, I like what you're doing and I'd like to know a little bit more. Don't think, wake up in the morning, we're all being told to wake up at 5 o'clock, meditate, stand on your head, drink loads of water, and I talk about that in my book. But in reality, most people roll over, turn their alarm off on their phone and see all their notifications, right? I am real. And
true story.
Yeah, totally, right? It takes a huge amount of willpower not to. And they'll see, we'll just use a strategy call as an example. Someone's booked in a strategy call. Awesome, I'm going to be able to pay my rent this week. Or awesome, I'm going to be able to pay my staff. Or awesome, I'm going to be able to pay off my credit card.
That is a lot of pressure on one sales call. I'm not going to lie.
There you go. And that is where so much of the little girl voice comes out, because they're not actually thinking about how they can serve that person on the other end of the phone. They're thinking, I fucking need you to sign up right now because I have to pay the rent next week, or my credit card's due and I need the money. And that is going to be something that's going to be a really hard theme for 2020 to shake, as we're all trying to get back into a growth phase.
Girl, I just think some folk, you just need to stop talking to people who are telling you that there's no space. I mean, even in the speaking industry, there are sectors that are booming right now and events have been cancelled left, right, and center. So when I've been speaking to speakers recently, I'm like, you need to not buy into this thing. Well, conferences are coming back is the first thing. And secondly, totally. I mean, they're not going forever. It's a blip. And secondly, even right now, there are speakers who are still overbooked because you've got to look at what do people want right now. It's like there's been a shift. They're not going to want topics that are on the sidelines. You've always got to be tapping into what's going to be useful right now. And how do I position this so that it works for people? But to your point, if you've only got one lead in your pipeline, it's a lot of pressure you're putting on your shoulders and this poor person to buy. It's like you're almost asking for a pity purchase. Like, please, like I got bills. I got, nobody wants to talk to that person. They just don't. Nobody's interested in that conversation.
Yeah, totally.
So Penny, the amount of stuff you've been giving us right now is ridiculously incredible, and I think it's needed, especially in the current landscape. I don't know how long it's going to be around for, and even if we're way beyond this and you're listening to this like 6 months, like 3 years later, people have adversities, and it's easy to kind of get sucked into a space where the sale has got even more importance than before. And so it's why I'm so excited to have you here to kind of share some of your wisdom around sales. And I know that this will help shift a lot of stuff for quite a few people who are listening. And your idea on like what power looks like in a woman. But what I want to understand from a true like in and out salesperson is like, what are you made of? So I'm going to figure this out through a simple question. Like, what are you made of? What is like the essence of a salesperson? So if we were to take like everything you've ever done in your life and boil it down into like literally just 3 really core key pillars that you were to call like your success secrets, and you're like your power tools, your success power tools, their strategies, their tools, their ways of being, their mantras, just these are your tools. What would they be, starting with like power tool number 1?
Determination. Definitely. I've been doing a couple of courses. I don't know if you know Jim Fortin's transformational coaching program, and I've been doing a bit around that because strategy, I could build a funnel with my eyes closed. So now it's time to do a bit more mindset and vibrational energy work, which is pretty exciting. That I can then bring that to my clients as well. And they asked what my superpower. What do you think your superpowers are? And I asked my mum, and she was like, you are the most determined person I know. Not in a nice way. And then I asked my husband, he was like, oh, you're so friggin' determined all the time. You never let anything rest. I was like, okay, I'm going to take this as a positive. So I think definitely like one of the secret power tools is being determined. Too many people give up too close to the finish line. I used to coach CEOs in athletics, in like running or cycling or triathlon. And I wanted to help these people because they have such busy schedules, but it's so important to have health, right? Mm-hmm. And they are A-type personalities, so they want to do really well in an event. And a lot of the times they'd be like, oh, well, I had a few too many drinks last night, so I couldn't get up this morning and do that one. And I couldn't do that one because I had a meeting put in my diary, and I couldn't do that one. And I used to just say to them, well, I'm sorry, but they're not going to bring the finish line of a marathon back to 30 kilometers because you couldn't do your 2 long runs to be able to hit the 42K mark. You know, no one's going to bring the finish line closer to you. You have to put in the time in your running shoes to make it to the finish on the day. You have to do it. And they'll be like, oh, really? Can I not just wing it on the day? No, you can't. Not if you want to walk the next week. So I think, you know, being really determined and set in your and tunnel vision, you know, just that determination will help you succeed. So for example, your, you know, speakers, like conferences are being cancelled or have been cancelled. So what can you do instead? If you're determined to be a speaker and you're determined to have a business around speaking, what can you do instead?
And there are a lot of things.
You can, you know, maybe collaborate with 5 other speakers and put on your own conference. Send people lanyards, get them to put them on at home. You know, send them a pen and a notebook like you would have at a conference. Get
involved, roll your sleeves up, be creative and commit to something. Girl, the way you said no one's going to bring this finish line forward to you, I've never heard it put that way, but I think it just needed saying again. Just remember, like, the determination piece is you've got to go to the finish line. It ain't coming to you. So if you stop running, if you stop moving forward, if we're using a sports analogy, then you're not going to make it to the line. But the line isn't going anywhere. It's there for the taking, but you've got to get to it. It's not coming closer because something else got in the way.
Yeah. I think another superpower is motivation. That you need to be motivated around what you're doing in your business, and that doesn't, you know, you don't need other people. It's important to surround yourself with other people, like listening to a podcast like this, and, you know, coaching courses, surrounding yourself with like-minded people, whether it's in a Facebook group or in a paid group. But essentially, motivation has to come within, right? You have to get your butt out of bed every day and listen to this podcast. You have to then go and click on the links that, you know, that the host provides. You need to then go and actually implement the things that they have given you. And that motivation comes from within. And if you have your own motivation within, then you are totally in control, right? Because you're motivated to look at a situation differently, learn your sales pitch, learn your numbers, learn what makes people tick in your ideal client world, learn how to speak to people and actually feel motivated that if I'm understanding, in this case, sales and the process of it and the psychology of it and seeing it in a different light, and I'm motivated to do that every single day, then you are going to be able to serve so many more people in this world.
And I think it goes, I love that. And I love that it's motivation from within, not external. And I think you can find and source that motivation even in really troubling times. I think there's an opportunity to look at, you know, because, you know, sometimes we hit that like rock bottom moment, and to look at it and go, never, ever, ever again will I ever find myself ever in this position, and use that as a thing that kind of propels you forward, and let that be the thing, you know, for anybody who may be listening and they're close to that point, or they're at that point, like that can become the internal strength and motivation that you use for the rest of your time in business. That's what propels you forward. It's not for everybody, but whatever the thing is that has you get up every day and do the work.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to break it down really, really easy for your listeners. Do you all brush your teeth morning and night?
Yeah, because otherwise your breath is really rank.
And also, how much does it hurt when you go to the dentist if you get a filling?
Oh, it's not good. I'm scared of the drill. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm too scared of that. I can't do needles. I can't do that stuff. That has me brush my teeth every day. I'm like, I just can't.
Right. Exactly. So you have motivation. So when people are like, oh, I need someone else to motivate me. Bollocks, you brush your teeth morning and night, right? Because the pain either in your mouth or in your wallet is too great to not brush your teeth. So when you think, I don't know how to put something out on social media today because, you know, the world is falling down around us, Rubbish. You do. You've brushed your teeth this morning, so you can do this. You can put a post out.
Beautiful.
You can be authentic about it. You can just say, look, I didn't really feel like putting something out today, but I want to be in service to you guys. Does anyone else feel like this? That could be the post. It doesn't have to be amazing. It doesn't have to be rocket science. It doesn't have to be right. I'm doing air quotes. But you've already been motivated enough to brush your teeth this morning. So you can be motivated to do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing in your business.
And it doesn't have to be right. Like, feel that pressure fall off your shoulders. It's like, so I could just say I didn't want to post. Like, I could just put that out. I could just say I didn't know if I wanted to post. Anybody else feeling like this today? I mean, sometimes we're just editing too much. Like, maybe like less editing.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the best lives are generally, well, you know, the things that get shared, right? It's like when the kid pulls the phone over and runs away with it when the person's trying to be all professional in the middle of their life, right? That's the one thing that that goes viral versus, you know, all the other thousands of lives that they've done giving great content.
Oh, for me, I'll tell you what's frustrating for me. I can pull together great content, and then I'll put a throwaway post on my page that says something like, I've taken to renaming my rooms. I am now in the spa. And that just goes nuts. I'm like, it's been there for 2 minutes. It's got nothing to do with anything. Like, what the hell?
Great post. Yeah. And, you know, in the speaking world, I know that when someone stands up on stage, if I'm in the audience and they have a super polished, highly manufactured presentation, I love it. But the speakers I go and say, well done, and my heart opens up to, are the ones that are standing up there going, this is a pretty big audience, you know. Hi everyone. I really want to, you know, do as well as I can today, but whoa, there is a lot of you in the room, you know, and they still deliver a beautifully polished presentation, and they have great slides and great quality information, but just bringing it to that raw, like they're a human standing up there. You think, God, you poor bugger. I'm going to listen. I'm not going to sit here texting and tweeting and Instagramming and talking to my neighbor. I'm going to sit here and listen because you've acknowledged that this is big for you.
And I think sometimes it's okay to just have some. I have been that person. I think anytime I get on a stage that's a lot bigger than the last one, I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of y'all out there today. This is going to be fun. But I just, like, for me, just acknowledging it like helps with the nerves. And yes, people, I do still get nervous. I'm human. I am human. Okay, Penny. So we have determination, we have motivation, and what would be your third bada bing, bada boom power tool?
Would be calling people out on their BS.
Ooh, girl.
Yeah, I mean, the polite version of what I do is I help online female entrepreneurs get and keep momentum in their business through accelerated sales. But the impolite version is that I put a rocket up your butt and tell you where you are making excuses and not really going for it, right? I'm calling you out on your BS and obviously helping you find a new story. But it was like the example I gave about the CEOs. They are these like really important people and they weren't doing their training. And I was like, well, are they going to move they're not going to move the finish line closer to you just because you're an important person. Like, where do you get off thinking that that's going to happen? You have to put the work in. Mm-hmm. So I think that is, although maybe slightly aggravating for some people, I think that the greatest amount of growth comes from challenging the way that you think and the way that you see the world and the way that you then react and move forward. Does that make sense? I
could not even agree more, because often, like, you keep thinking the same and behaving the same and you'll continue to get the same results. At some point, you're going to have to think different, do different, be different, results change. Really simple. But until somebody is like sometimes it's until somebody is in your face and kind of says something in a way that really jolts you, normally because it peeves you off a little bit. You're just like, really, please? Are you for real? Get off the phone a little bit peeved off or whatever, just like, bitch, please, who the hell do you think you are? But in that moment, it's like a shake-up. It's like a reset where you kind of have to think about it. And the more mature you are, you'll be able to walk away from that, internalize the conversation, really sit with it and see it for what it's worth. But sometimes we be telling ourselves some dumb BS stories, and somebody needs to tell us.
Yeah. Like, so for your listeners, for example, oh, I can't be a speaker anymore because there are no conferences. Well, that's BS. Do you think that there's never going to be a conference again? Do you think that you have to stand on a stage to be a speaker? What do you think's happening with radio at the moment? It's still broadcasting. Do you need to leave your house to be on the radio? No. What about TV? You don't have to leave the house to be on TV either. So I help people. That is definitely a superpower of mine, is to help them out on that and get them unstuck in that. And a lot of the time it's in that, oh, it's not going to work situation, I'm not very good at writing, for example. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm dyslexic and nearly failed English at school, and I've been a journalist for years and years and years and published in Forbes 3 times. So that's BS, isn't it? Just because someone tells you something doesn't mean that it's truth. It means that that's what they believe and they think is their truth. But there's always an opposing story, and it's just the story that you choose to walk down.
The story you choose. That's a key word. Choose to walk down. The story you choose. You better choose one that's serving you, girls. Don't choose that one that somebody else has. It's not working for them, but they want you to take it on too. Don't be taking on stories that don't serve. It's a bad idea. Bad idea.
100%. So, like, a lot of people have kids. None of them are the same as each other. And so if you believed that you had to do parenting the same as the parent next door, it wouldn't work. Like, it just wouldn't work. So, but we're all accepting in the fact that it's okay to parent differently to the person next door. Yet in business, people are so less willing to accept that it's okay to do things differently to the woman next door who's creating their business, right? So
boom,
don't
do it
take
your
on.
way.
Sorry?
I'm like, boom, do it your way, girl. Don't take on somebody else's way.
Yeah. And I think that's what really helps with having a coach or a mentor or a consultant or a teacher, whichever avenue you want to go down, because they can show you a way and that they've done or that they know works, and it's an accelerated path. But along that way, you can make it however you want. I always say to my clients, my girls, I always say, like, this is the way that I know works, but it's not the only way. So we can try it this way, or how do you want to do it? And really empower them to find the story that they want.
Penny, you have been a gem. Like, it's like messages from heaven today. So there'll be people who've been listening today and something is shifting, moving, awakening within them. They're like, okay, I'm a little bit scared perhaps of the non-BS, but maybe I need a non-BS speaking person to just tell me. And I'm looking for more information. How do I get in touch with Penny Elliott? Where do I find this woman? What's she got? Like, help us. Where do we go?
Well, there's some really good things that you can do that will help you today. And so you can grab my book, Get Momentum. It's on Amazon. It's Your Ultimate Guide to Creating 100K in 100 Days Without Fear, Overwhelm, and Burnout. That's going to give you something to do at night while you read over it. And then the other thing is you can always follow me on Instagram. I always pop stories up. I'm really big into stories, and that's Penny_Elliott_, and Elliott's got 2 T's. Otherwise, you can head to my Facebook page, which I do a few live trainings on there, and that's Penny Elliott Coach.
All of which are in the notes. in
Yep.
the show notes. You better click on the notes, and you've got a gift.
Yes, I do. So my big thing is not to give you more information overload, is to actually help you implement stuff. So it's all good and well learning all this stuff, but if you aren't speaking to people in a way that's confident in your sales and confident in yourself, you know, you might be sitting there listening or out running listening to this, or in the car thinking, well, that's great for you, Penny. You were, you know, brought up with sales, but how do I do it? So I've taken all of my sales copy, all of my introductions, all of my sales page formats, email nurture sequences, everything that you need to run a successful online business, and put it all into a copy, paste, tweak, sales, swipe, file suite. See if you can say that 3 times fast. And it's all available there for you. And the link will obviously be in the show notes, and you can jump into that and have a look. And in there is loads and loads of Google documents that you can copy and paste into your CRM, your emails, however, you know, whatever system you use, and tweak the messaging part to be for you. So that's an offer that is there for you.
I mean, you said that really light, like it was a small thing. That is huge.
Yeah, there's probably about, we keep adding files to it as I find more. So depending on when you listen to this, it'll just keep growing, because I just think I want to make this as easy as possible. So there's messenger bot, there's messengers, there's text messages, there's email nurture sequence, there's webinar nurture sequence and sales sequences, there's sales page format, how to introduce yourself at a barbecue.
If you could see me, I'm here with my mouth like wide open, like I'm having to pick my jaw up off this table. I'm like, whoa!
Yeah. So and every time I think, or some sales emails, how to reply to someone when they say no on a discovery call, how to objection handle on discovery calls, trial closes. We're just continuously uploading stuff into the Google Docs and adding tweaks to the membership area. So
seriously,
hugely powerful.
Listened this far, and you are not already vigorously tapping on that flipping button to get yourself a copy. I mean, seriously, it's ridiculous. That's loads. Jump over there, click on the link below. Like literally everything is in here. So click on the link in the show notes, and you'll be able to get access to it. Now, gosh, this has been so good. I'm like, this has been so good. How do you help me wrap this up? Like I need like a closing something. I don't even know how to bring this all to a close right now, Penny, because you've given us so much. So if you had to leave us with just one thing, just like rattling about in our minds, such that we're better as saleswomen when we go out there into the world, what would it be?
The one thing I want to leave with you guys is it just takes practice. You weren't put on this planet to be a salesperson, but if you don't have sales coming into your business, you just have a fancy website and Instagram account. And it just takes practice. So put the effort in and know it will come back to you. Banish that little girl voice. Call yourself out on any BS stories you're doing. Be determined and practice.
It's not going to happen without the practice, chica. This has been the Lovelda Show, Women of Power podcast. If you aren't already subscribed to this show and you've listened all the way to the end of these episodes up until now, you want to hit that subscribe button, hit the ding dong bell to make sure that you get updates whenever anything new is added, the ding dong bell. Click on the button in the notes to get those swipe files from Penny, because it is ridiculously crazily like... And until next time, this has been the Lovelda Show, Women of Power podcast. See you in the next episode.